there's no secret. Acting, it's like funny. It almost sounds like those of you who've done the training, like I'm talking about something to do with S or something. But really, acting is a creative thing. It's something, it's a creative art. Your part is our creation. Creations have to be created. Guess who the creator is? Certainly isn't me. Like, I had a consideration yesterday about putting that stuff out to you guys about acting, because I thought, well, what if some of them think that, well, we're in a show now, we're not in a goddamn acting class, I don't need to hear this. And I thought, well, good, if they've got that, that's what they got to look at, is that they're always going to be learning as long as they're going to be acting. Jerry Blunt talks about creating the dramatic experience. That has to do with the artist creating the experience and sharing it with the audience and getting the return experience that they've been gotten back. In other words, there's a cycle that goes from actor to audience called what Jerry Blunt calls the dramatic experience.
And there have been points when I totally disappeared. I have no recollection of what I did in the show. That's the most exciting feeling. And I know that can come out of this. I've done it here before.
What you can do is go out there and just try to be in a vacuum. Try not to share with the other people on stage. Don't worry about the audience. I think it's their job to react to you. And you'll be real dissatisfied. I promise. It's got to be created each time. And you can go as far as you want.
The stuff with my characters, like I put out to the group that I was with last night, it's like I really want to get to another level beyond what I've done in my characters. It's like I've gone past anything I've ever done. It's like what I've done with the characters, for me, I've gone beyond. And it's not enough. It's not enough for me at all.
And it's funny that along with it wasn't an experience of being out of control, because I know whenever I'd be having anything go wrong, I could pop in and handle it.
Yeah.
It's like a different thing from being out of... We're talking about this. We've had experiences on stage where we've gotten so into it, like I've gotten so into it where I couldn't remember having done it.
No recollection of being there. Just all of a sudden, here I'm off stage again, and my part is done.
Like this. Her idea in teaching acting was to remove the blinders. See the whole thing. Rather than just, it's kind of like in S, we talk about the box we operate in, or something foot ceiling, where we think we can't go above. It's like we think we're here, and there's really this whole universe out there. You can use that as actors, relate it back to acting. You can use that as actors brilliantly. You've got to be open to it.
Like I described, I want to get out of a box that I'm in with the character. It's like everything I do is within this box of Barbara Brous and how she does her characters. And I want to get out of that. I want to get out of that.
Yeah, I used to get so into characters sometimes that I would have to ask people what happened, or did we do this scene?
Yeah.
I've had that experience, and it's real good, real interesting. And we all have it in us, and we've all done it. Probably you've all had that experience, and if you haven't, you will probably have that experience one day if you stay with acting, where some director will call you up and say, Dan, so-and-so had his head cut off and can't make it. We got to go on tonight. Can you do it? And I've had that happen to me a few times. And you say, okay! And you go there and you do the thing and you make it.
About effortless. I'm finding that in myself that it is effortless. Actually, the characters I play come out. As soon as I get squared away on intention, and like the direction the character's going, it snaps, and it becomes it's real easy.
Yeah.
And it just comes right out of me, it just pours out.
That's real interesting, because what I was finding in myself as a director is what I have to do is have myself disappear into the group,
Okay, and like what I'm really getting in touch with is the fact that I'm scared that I can do this. That it can come out like this. I find myself, trying to hold it back, and I, I'm, the whys and wherefores. I don't really know, but that's what it is. It's so easy. I find myself really getting scared, and then,
I think it's an experience called what I have to do is nothing. And you know what? What you will notice if you come from that, what will happen is you can begin to notice what you throw in there, what you add to nothing. If you could just do that, develop the context that this play works. And at the end of the road on the 29th is a play that works no matter what. What you can do is use the time to notice what you add to nothing. As soon as you observe that, it can break up. Look at what I added to having my part work. How interesting. And share it with the group. You know, and it is scary when things are effortless. Like again, I told you guys the week before our meeting I did the communication workshop, and I expected it to be very effortful, and the guy that led it said, "What could you guys stand it if your life turned around in here and it was effortless?"
I found out there wasn't anything to do. It was just going out there and giving up, having to put this here because the character was so full and so real. He was a separate entity. I would step into him, and we would be.
If your life turned around in here and it was effortless, I want you to ask if you could stand it. And I really had to look at that. It was real weird because the communication workshop for me was effortless, and my life did turn around in there. And it was freaky. I was scared a lot because I would see hour to hour the miles of movement I had traveled. It was like getting from point A to point B without covering any distance. That's because I had nothing to do. You can't go too far. But one of the things I found out with myself, because of my build and stuff being real skinny, I end up playing a lot of real extreme characters. I end up playing a lot of fags, a lot of crazies, a lot of all kinds of things. And one thing I had to give up to be real, what some people would call good at that kind of thing, was give up a consideration called everybody's going to think I look stupid. Everybody's going to think, who the fuck is this guy up there looking so stupid? I had to give that up totally. Self to the group. You do it on stage brilliantly. When you have a character to play, you know what I mean, Karen? When you have this character to play, you're so brilliant. And I know you as a person have so much to contribute, and I think you hold back sometimes.
Yeah, I do.
You're not going to get any experiences of life to bring on stage if you seal yourself up. You've got to get out there and be with people, and that's what this is about. Your opportunity to be with people. At a grand scale, you're going to be with thousands of people this summer. Most of them will be children. The best. The best. Especially for this stuff. Clue for you guys, they're always going to think whatever they think anyway. So what you've got to do is give them the space to think that, and if you want to have yourself look brilliant up there, just let go.
Here in my characters, Roger's going to be gone. What I want is to have Roger disappear, and Binky Balone and the minister and all the characters I'm playing be there, and not Roger, and just have them be that full. That's what I want to have out of the day.
So the point is, character work is endless. One thing you can do to make yourself stale is think you've got it and try to hold on to that. Let that one sink in. Try to think that now you know how to play this part and hold on to that. And not create the experience of that part each time new. You will become very stale, you'll be very dissatisfied, I promise. All you guys have got to do is experience, before we go on, is experience this play being together. My job is to hold that space until you walk into it. See, I happen to know that it's together. That's my job, is to know that. And to notice the barriers that come up between, in that space, the play is together, and together we make them disappear. To where, at the end of the line, what we have is a play that works. And everybody's parts work. It's a satisfying experience.